Well, good evening. It is December 11th. We are back in a redneck blind over some standing beans. I target this buck that I call Dean. He's been in here about every night for the last week. We did get a picture of him on this side of the farm at 10 o'clock this morning. My Mathews ARC with me behind me. The stealth cam's been showing us that he's coming in here about 45 minutes before dark. He's been hanging around between 35 and 55 yards in this plot. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. We get an opportunity at him tonight. Hopefully I'll do my part, make a good shot. We'll see what happens. We just got Dean. We had 3 fawns come in. They started getting nervous, and I turned and looked. He came all the way down through, and he did what he's been doing on the camera every single time. Walked out to 47 yards. The good Lord just blessed me. Finally, for once, everything went the way it was supposed to. Everything turned out perfectly. Just broke in the brand new Mathews ARC. We just self-filmed him and killed him at 47 yards. I'm gonna start making some phone calls. I'm freaking pumped. Took the blood about 50 yards from where I shot it. Shot looked perfect, but I'm just gonna back out. I'm not gonna take any chances. Go back and look at it on the video on the bigger screen, and I don't know, we'll see. Well, here he is. This is my 25-26 buck. This is a buck we call Dean. I got a couple years of history with this deer. This was a buck that we actually had planned on passing this year just because he showed so much potential, and I have a couple bucks that I believe are offsprings of this deer. This deer sustained some sort of injury, and I passed him up a couple weeks ago when I noticed his eye and how rough a shape he was in, and we decided to go ahead and make a game plan to kill this buck since my number one target, the deer I was chasing, Marvin, had just disappeared. This was one of the roughest years I've ever had here hunting, especially with all the hard work and time and feeding, food plots and everything we do. We had 5 or 6 bucks that were fully mature that all disappeared and have not showed back up since gun season started. I'm not sure what happened to them. I'm not sure if they're gonna show back up, but this deer we decided to target, and we made a set on him on a corn plot when we got a daylight picture of him. Went in, did a set, and we saw the deer, but he never ended up coming in. And I knew that if he got in on my standing beans and we kept the super cold weather that we've been fortunate to have this year in December, that he would end up probably finding those beans. And once he did, then it was pretty much game over. And that is exactly what happened. We let this deer go for about a week on the beans. He daylighted twice once we got brutal cold temperatures. And I was really tempted to go ahead and just push the envelope and try to go in there and kill him, but there was just so many deer going in and out of that plot that I was afraid that we were just gonna end up blowing it out. And once you do that on a late season set, it's really hard to keep the deer in. So we stayed out. Last night, all the stars aligned. We only had a few deer in the plot, and I turned and looked, and this deer was coming through the timber and did exactly what the camera was showing. And he was at 47 yards. And I thought I made an absolutely perfect shot. I mean, it was right where I was aiming, right where I wanted the arrow to hit. And for some reason, it must have been just a shade low because we had very, very little blood for 150 yards. We found a couple beds, decided to back out, call the drone in, and probably 200 yards from where we last tracked him, I ended up picking him up on 2 trail cameras coming through, and then we located him with the drone where he was bedded up. So we decided this morning to fly the drone back in there again, and we looked all over, could not find him, found a couple beds. And this deer had actually went all the way back to a different location 1,000 yards away from the original shot and expired probably first thing this morning because he was actually still warm, which just goes to show that using a drone is it's hands down the best way if you're not sure if your deer is dead, because you're not putting pressure on them. And you know, perfect examples of what happened last night. You know, this deer wasn't dead 3-4 hours in, and with very little blood. You know, we probably would not have been fortunate to find him if we would have tried to do it, pursue him without the drone. So definitely blessed to know people that have one, and glad to be able to recover him this morning. So we'll get some more photos later on this evening, and we'll get him to the taxidermist, and I'll probably display him up on my wall. It's unfortunate that he sustained the injury that he did, but I felt like if we didn't kill him, we were gonna end up finding him dead this year anyway. So blessed to end another story here. It's been a few years since I've been able to shoot one here in Indiana, but this is the first year that I switched to Mathews, and I was able to kill him with the brand new Mathews ARC. And that bow honestly was one of the nicest aiming bows I've ever shot, and it performed perfectly. 47-yard shot. The deer didn't duck an inch, and everything worked out. Black eagle with a beast, and yeah, just truly blessed to be able to finally fill another tag, especially after this stressful season. It has been a rough one, but blessed again, and to harvest one of God's amazing animals that he had. And I'm glad that we were able to take him instead of him just suffering for the rest of the year, and more than likely expiring in the off season. So blessed again, and can't wait to get him up on the wall.